UFC Baku Fiziev versus Torres just wrapped up, guys, and I actually think that was a really good card. It was an early card. We got it out the way quickly. I woke up late, so I did miss some of the early prelims. I heard I missed the Bekzat robbery, guys. I know I told you guys Bekzat was going to get it done. I heard he dropped him. Heard he did great things. We're going to talk about all that in this video, guys, but we got to start off, of course, with the main event of the evening. I had a feeling. I trusted him, man. I trusted him. Dude, but the Gaethje curse, bro. Once you get beat up, I don't know. Shut up, eh? Shut up, bro. You doubted Fiziev. See, the thing, what initially made me pick Fiziev to win the fight was Torres never been against a good striker. Like, I seen him against Grant Dawson knockout. Drew Dober, probably the best striker he's won against. He knocked him out too. But those guys aren't great strikers. Ignacio Bahamondes was the best striker he's ever won against. He gets knocked out by him. Rafael Fiziev beat Ignacio. I wasn't MMA math-maxing, but I was like, it's kind of weird that Torres is kind of like a 1-2 merchant who hits hard, yes. But every single time he's been tested by a good striker, which was one time prior to this fight, he's went in there and got knocked out. Now, I had Fiziev winning. I did think he was going to win by finish. I didn't know when the finish was going to come. It ended up coming in the second round. Manuel Torres hasn't been in the second round. This was his first second round. Now he's not going to ever escape the narrative of being a first round fighter, because the one time he went to the second round, nearly dies in there. But let's talk about Rafael, guys. I do think that he's improving. It's weird with him because this fight kind of let me know that Rufi's really good, guys. Rufi's like he's a dog, man. He's tough to strike with, because Fiziev is objectively a really sound Muay Thai fighter. I love his low kicks. I love the way he breaks the base. He goes to the body. He was fighting really well in this first round with Manuel Torres. I actually didn't know who I gave the first round to. I did say that I think Torres stole it at the very end because he landed a good straight punch. But prior to that, it was really Fiziev out striking him, landing the bigger low kicks, landing the body kicks. Didn't throw much head kicks at all, actually. But he was going body, legs, like breaking the base. He would have times where he land some big combos too, with his hands on Torres Finney. Torres Finney was kind of out of range completely, for the most part, with his 1-2s. He's kind of like a 1-2 specialist. When I was watching like a little bit of his footage, I actually was doing that during the live stream. You could go back and watch. Like right before the fight, I was starting to look at things that Torres does. He kind of just has a decent body kick that he throws blindly, and then he lunges into a 1-2, which is fast, but I was thinking, I don't think that's going to just work against Fiziev, who just seems to be a more intelligent striker. Rafael even mixed in some wrestling that he showed. He'd done that before. He'd done it against Gaethje. I remember he controlled Gaethje for the first round as well. He did it against Rufi a little bit. He's a smart fighter, and I feel like his IQ is what overall made this fight a fight winnable for him. I will say this fight was competitive. It could have went either way. He starts off the second round and throws that spinning heel kick, which I didn't see coming. Torres Finney actually blocked it. It was just an equilibrium mashup. He hits him, caused him to wobble. He seemed a little bit fine though. He was just off footing. When he got back to his feet though, it was just the follow up shots. Fiziev gets him a little shovel hook uppercut, drops him, and then he falls up on the ground and he just puts him out, man. Torres seemed game. Honestly, I think Torres is pretty badass, but it was just that first 10 seconds, 15 seconds in the first second round. It's just that Fiziev was throwing something that he didn't see coming. When you break the base so much, then throw a spinning heel kick out of nowhere, it's hard to figure out, Fiziev was even saying the straight punches of Torres averted his vision in his left eye, I believe. He said he started seeing double, but he still overcame that and threw that kick to get the finish. I like this for both guys. I'll even say who I want both guys to fight next. I think Rafael should fight Quillen Salkild. I think that's a good fight, the Aussie, man, because I think both guys are going to be tested. I think... Listen, Quillen got rocked by Dariush, so anything's possible in that fight. I do think Quillen's it'd be more of a winnable fight for Quillen. I will say that. But I think Rafael is showing us that you could put him against a dangerous striker who has power and he could beat him. Like I said, Rufi, guys, we got to start looking at Rufi and paying some respect to him, paying homage. Of course, we already know how good Justin Gaethje is because now he's champion after beating Ilia Topuria for bringing him to war. Rafael went the distance with that guy, but he couldn't go the distance with Rufi, and Rufi just seems to be disposing of these people who are powerful. I know Chandler's a bot, but Rufi's striking seems a lot more improved. Takedown defense looked good against Rafael himself, so I think Rufi's one of those people, guys, we have to start looking at and say, you know what, he can beat people like Justin Gaethje. He could be it's not even crazy to say Rufi's championship caliber, given his ability to finish people in some crazy sequences and finish people who are great strikers like Rafael, as we've seen tonight, who went in there against another young striker, I guess you could say young, early 30s, and Torres, and disposed of him. So I like Rafael. He looked good in this fight. It's one of those fights that didn't really shock me, but I did love this for Rafael. He's such a likable person. Seeing him with this one was very satisfying. I still think Torres is good. I don't know who you could give Torres next. Maybe give him an easy knockout in Dariush to keep him in the ranked caliber, I guess. Torres could beat a lot of people, though. I do want to see Torres fight a lot more. I hope he could stay active after this. It was a very competitive fight before that finish, so I don't take anything away from Torres. It was a good fight from both guys, but Rafael gets it done as he should in front of the home crowd. Co-main event. This, like, I'll be real, guys. This is one of the few decisions. I think there's 3 decisions on this card. This is one of them. Michael Bisping's commentary needs to go to hell, bro. Like, I hate his commentary so much. I don't know why he was just in love with Michael Pereira this whole fight. Shara was doing nothing this fight but outlanding Michael Pereira. And I'll be real, Michael Pereira won the first round, but it was on some lucky shit. Like, I'm not going to say lucky, but he timed the straight when Shara threw the low kick, so it dropped him. And from there, he won the round by sitting on top, doing nothing. Matter of fact, Shara was landing more on the bottom while Michael Pereira was on him. Shara even reversed him and started landing shots himself. And then Michael Bisping had the audacity at the end of that round to say, oh, I think it could be a 10-8 Michael Pereira. Shut your mouth, gang. Like, what? 10-8 for literally dropping him and doing nothing after that. 10-8 for dropping him, getting in full guard, not landing anything, getting outstruck from the bottom, then getting reversed and getting landed on by Shara. Oh, 10-8 round for Michael Pereira. Like that, like hearing things like that irked me. And after that, in the second round, halfway through the second round, halfway during watching it, he was talking about I think Pereira's winning, Pereira's doing good work here. Shara's not really doing much. Shara's got to do much with the pressure. Dude, Shara was pressuring him, outlanding him with low kicks, body kicks. He was doing something perfect where he always counter with a check hook. Michael Pereira would enter. He did a Superman punch one time off the fence. Shara leans back, check hook. He was landing it every single time. Michael Bisping didn't acknowledge it once the whole fight while it was ongoing until he saw the replay and was like, oh, well, good little cheeky left check hook. Shut up, bro. You purposely ignored it. Everything Michael Pereira did, oh, great straight by Michael Pereira. Keep in mind, he didn't even land it. He wouldn't even be landing these straights. But I don't know, I don't ever talk about commentary. And it was the first time I muted commentary. I never do that because I always hear people complaining about it. I'm like, they're doing too much. But I don't know what it was about Michael Pereira that Michael Bisping's in love with. I think he just hates Shara for whatever reason, but it was really irking me how he was only acknowledging that. Rounds 2 and 3 were pretty clearly Shara bullet. I don't think anyone in the world opposed to that. Just outlanding Michael Pereira, who was running away the whole fight. Listen, I understand that he was gassed, but I hate when he just gives a hard round, gets gassed and runs away, bro, to avoid getting knocked out. Shara actually almost got him a few times, especially in the third round. He was just putting it on him. He was just better. Every single time he sit down in a combo, Shara would land everything. He was landing some good elbows. Even in the clinch, he was outlanding him. Shara was just better than him everywhere. Without Shara getting caught with that straight while throwing the low kick, he would have been good. And Michael Pereira had his one time to finish, like he always does in one fight. At least one time he has where he can almost have an explosive finish. Feel it against Shara. Shara was a lot better. I think Shara's stock actually went up after this fight because I think his striking is starting to look more comfortable. He's starting to flow a lot better. He gets into this flow state where he will throw multiple combos, multiple punch combos and ends with a kick or something in very fluid manner. So I'm starting to like him. I think his striking is actually pretty good. I actually want to see him fight Izzy or something. A lot of people want to fight Izzy. Let's get that straight. Every middleweight after they went, man, let me give Izzy. Shut up, gang. Every middleweight does it. I think I would actually like seeing Shara versus Izzy because stylistically it's an interesting fight. And honestly, it's a competitive fight too. I think at this point of his career, it's competitive. The only one who beat Shara so far was MVP, who's the best striker in UFC history. Izzy's not as good as a striker as MVP, so I think it'd be closer and I think it'd be interesting. Shara flows nicely. I think give him Adesanya. I think that'd be the most intriguing fight you could do at middleweight. But yeah, great win by Shara Bullet. Michael Pereira he should just get kicked out and retire. Sadykov. This is the only fighter from the region who lost in front of his home crowd. Landed 0 strikes, which is kind of embarrassing. Went against Camilo, who, I'll be real, guys, the 4th shot he landed, he caught him, he dropped him. It was early. It was definitely early, especially for a hometown fighter gang. He gets dropped, and he decides to shell up before he starts to post up, and then they stop the fight. I see what the referee was thinking, though. You get dropped, you shell up. But here's how I think. You can't shell up for 2 seconds and stop the fight. Let them shell up for 5 seconds or something. You got to let them fight. You could tell he wasn't out of it. It was a bit weird of a stoppage for the referee. It made me question. I was like, why did they stop that? It was a little bit, didn't really make sense to me, but Camilo does drop him. I'll give him that. It seemed like Sadykov was going to shell, and after taking a little bit of block shots, he was going to post up. I don't know what the ref wanted him to do is my thing, because what if Sadykov got dropped, then didn't shell up and just put both his hands on the ground, started pushing up, trying to get up? He's going to be eating shots on the way up, and that's probably going to get him knocked out. So I don't know. That's a tricky thing where I feel refs got to be careful not to stop the fight from 2, 3 unanswered shots because they're shelling up and don't want to take too much damage immediately. You can't get dropped like that and just get up without covering yourself. I think he did the right thing shelling up. I just think maybe the body language is a little bit off. It kind of sucked for Sadykov because he's in front of his home crowd, gets punched by this Camilo dude and just loses. Only person on the card to lose from the hometown because why? I don't know. Because the referee just wanted to stop it. Early stoppage, one of the few fights I got wrong on the card, so it is what it is. But shout out Camilo. He has power, but definitely a questionable stoppage. I didn't understand it. Almabayev versus Charles Johnson. You guys know sometimes I pick stuff and I look back at my picks and I almost laugh at myself. Guys, Almabayev looked great, first of all. And I knew Charles Johnson. The thing about Charles, this is what throws me off. He seems intelligent from getting up. Like, he gets butterfly hooks and stuff and like creates space. But in the first round, he was doing everything right, but then wouldn't try to get up. It was weird. Like, second round, third round, he got up every time. I was like, fuck it. But it seemed like the first round, he just gave it up. It was a little bit weird. I will say Almabayev did seem better on the feet, which is what surprised me in this one. Almabayev seemed great. When looking back at it, his only loss was Manil Cap on short notice, and he got eye poked 9 times in that fight. Like, Manil Cap cheated to win. But then again, Manil Cap does seem better than him. I'll be real, because skill for skill, they seem like completely outmatched. But I will say Almabayev's striking looks improved. His wrestling looks improved. Like, he looks good. Like, even Charles Johnson wasn't settling too much on the ground. I will say that. There's some fighters who settle when you get them down. These flyweights, they were scrambling, bro. Charles Johnson, his stock goes down, unironically, and Almabayev's stock goes up because I feel like Almabayev's shown he's more well-rounded, whereas I feel like Charles Johnson didn't capitalize enough, and then he ends up getting stretched out. Pause. But he gets stretched out in the third round and gets submitted. Almabayev looked great in this fight. Stock goes up. There's a point I've never picked. The only time I picked against Almabayev was the Manil Cap fight. I don't know why suddenly I picked against him and Charles Johnson. Maybe it's because... Bro, Charles Johnson, I think it's because he follows me, guys. Deep down, I just feel like I got to be like, oh, man, you know. I don't know. Nah, but I actually did think there was a world that Charles Johnson would be a better striker in this fight, which I kind of feel stupid for thinking that now, because why was I thinking Charles Johnson was a better striker? I think we take too much stock. I'm saying we, but maybe I should say I. Maybe I take too much stock for him catching Joshua Van, because he was getting whooped that fight and then caught him in the third round. I thought the same thing could happen here. He had an inverted triangle he tried to go for in the third round. That was his Hail Mary moment. He failed it, kind of gassed out his legs, and Almabayev just stretched him out. Almabayev looked really good, looked very well-rounded, didn't fatigue either. Almabayev is one of the best flyweights in the world. It just sucks. Like, Almabayev probably loses to like a Tyra, but he's good enough to, you know, make it interesting with some other people. But I like Almabayev, and I think his stock goes up, and he's one of the best fighters in the flyweight division. But the flyweight division is just very stacked, unfortunately. But he'll still beat anyone who's around Charles Johnson level. I just think when he takes a step up in competition, goes against the Ray Tsuras even. He could beat Tsura, but if he goes against the Tyras, the Vans, and the Pantojas, Manil Caps, that's where the problems start to pose with him. But outside of that, he's a very solid flyweight, and his stock went up for me. Moving on from that fight, Ikram Aliskerov, guys. This is the second 2 out of 3 fights that went to decision. Ikram looked improved to me. Guys, Ikram's the most accomplished Sambo athlete in UFC history, you know. More so than Khabib and Islam. So, like, I've always wondered, like, why is he so good at Sambo but never wrestles? Guys, he wrestled this fight more than usual. Had scored 5 takedowns, went 5 for 6. So, like, it was damn near perfect every single time. He was going for submission attempts even. He seemed smothering on top, was going body, head. He was using his wrestling really well, and his striking's getting better. He's less hippity-hoppity. One thing about Ikram I noticed when he was early in the UFC, he's kind of always, like, doing too much in his striking. This time he was a little bit more composed. I will say when he evades shots, he kind of leans back the same way and does that some of his old flaws. But I will say he stands his base a little bit more, sits down in his punches more, and I like that. Like, there's a lot of times he actually rocked Bruno Ferreira with a flying knee, but then he'll go for a takedown right after because he's just trying to use his well-roundedness, which I like. I like that he's using fight IQ. Guys, he's really good now. I know people are going to look at this fight and like kind of scoff at it and be like, oh, well, you went to decision with Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira's a bum, this, that, and the third. Bruno Ferreira's not that great, and he looked horrible. He didn't look good this fight. He looks the same every fight. Like, sits it down and tries to throw it overhand and tries to land something, but it doesn't really work. That's kind of Bruno Ferreira every fight. So I knew what it was going into this fight. I think Ikram can actually finish him on the feet. I think that could have actually happened. I think he was just, when he had him rocked or hurt, like he would just shoot a takedown right after a flying knee or something. But Ikram looked more well-rounded to me. I like that he's using fight IQ. That was a worry for me that he's just not going to use a Sambo background at all. He's using a Sambo background. It's pretty good too. Like, I don't mind this performance by Ikram as well. This actually moved him up in my stock. I know it moved a lot of people down and off of him. But before this fight, I was saying he's kind of shitty. You know, and if you look at my prediction video, I was like, honestly, both guys are mid. I don't think Ikram's that good. Ikram's a wrestler who doesn't know how to wrestle. But no, he knows how to wrestle, and he proved it this fight. Good chain wrestling, good ground and pound. Like, he uses his ground and pound. Like, he doesn't just hold you. Seems to be landing stuff. And yeah, still has 100% takedown defense. Bruno Ferreira shot one, but he got stuffed. He had our leg up too, and we hopped. We went against Hamza, and we still have 100% takedown defense, buddy. Just know, brother, we're legit, brother. We're hard to deal with. Ikram's pretty good. I actually think his stock goes up. I think he should fight Bo Nickal because I think he beats a Bo Nickal, and I think people aren't ready for that conversation. So we should book that fight next. I know Bo Nickal will never take it because Bo knows what's going to happen, but I was fond of Ikram's performance, and I do think his stock goes up. Abuz Magomedov versus Michael Olajaychik. I did say Abuz is going to win. He does get the win by submission. This one, the tricky part about this fight specifically for me would probably be that I think Abuz probably would have fatigued again, but like I'm glad he gets the finish. He seemed to be like having the timing of Olajaychik and outlanding him on the feet. Abuz is always going to be decent at scrambling and good at fighting submissions. That's what he did against Olajaychik. He had that once he got that choke in, I knew it was deep. It was kind of GG's, bro. So yeah, Abuz, he's one of those people who I feel like are well-rounded. He has his skills. His endurance will always be his kryptonite. Like he dominated Sean Strickland in the first round. You know, he dominates everyone in the first round. Like I don't know if first round he didn't dominate, but he always gets fatigued eventually and then loses. This one didn't need to lead the first round. I think if he did get out the first round, he would have fatigued, but he's still good enough to beat even a Michael Olajaychik level opponent outside the first round. So I think he would have won either way, but I am happy he got the first round finish because it could have got ugly afterwards. Abuz is one of the better fighters in the UFC skill-wise. He's 35. He's not like wicked young, so he did call out Adesanya. Honestly, I think Abuz could actually beat Adesanya if Adesanya goes in with like, yeah, man, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to show you guys my grappling and have fun. Like, I can see Adesanya actually doing that. Like, Abuz has better fight IQ than Adesanya at this point of his career. I can't deny it. You know, I fuck with Adesanya, but he's more fighting to have fun. So I know this fight's actually closer than people think. But of course, objectively speaking, if Adesanya goes in with fight IQ and like wants to win, he'll win. If he goes in to have fun, like he does sometimes and has been doing his last couple fights, probably will lose because he probably try to shoot a takedown and gets choked or something. But yeah, I'm for the fight. Give us a boost. Listen, give us a boost. I'm for it. Listen, at this point, Adesanya wants that fun. He wants random fun matchups. This is a fun one. Like, this is a finisher. I think Adesanya will go in there and just try to have a war and have fun. So, yeah, book it. Abuz versus Izzy. I don't even care at this point. I don't. Win or lose too, I wouldn't care. Next up, prelims. I didn't watch all the prelims, but I'm going to go through the ones I have watched. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Bekzat fight, even though I didn't watch it. Farman Hasanov. I only picked him, guys, because he was making his debut in his home country. He went against Eric Nolan. This guy scored 17 takedowns, shot 27, guys. This guy's, he was put on a crazy pace. And for a guy his size and how ripped he was, guys, he looked gassed, but he kept pushing through it. Kind of reminds you of like a Hamza Chimaev. Except when Hamza like has a really strong first round where he wrestles a lot, against Usman, he's just going to shoot a lot less in the second and third. Whereas Hasanov still shoots. And what I like about him is like he commits to these takedowns, and he like be committing to double legs and single legs. Like he'll have you against the fence, he'll drop to his knees the correct way and like fully execute a double leg, full energy, and like be picking Eric Nolan off his feet. And Nolan was being a purple belt in BJJ, like he wouldn't settle. He would get to a hip and force Hasanov to work. And I gotta say, guys, like Hasanov showed great endurance, even on the feet a little bit in the first round. He was showing that he had power, and like Nolan didn't want to get hit by him. He dominated Eric Nolan better than Surzakaev did. Surzakaev was getting tagged up. He made it hard for Eric Nolan. I think Hasanov beats Surzakaev. I think Hasanov's one of the better wrestlers in the UFC, and I really like him as a prospect. I put him down on my prospect list after this performance because it was given like a welterweight Marab with like the visuals of Hamza. You know how Hamza's fatigued, he shows it. Like Hasanov looks fatigued, but he's still able to score takedowns on people when he's tired. And he's even throwing. Like Eric Nolan, don't get me wrong, Eric Nolan had times where he was kind of capitalizing off it, but he didn't really land clean on Hasanov. Hasanov's gas tank's a bit tricky, but he's so young. I don't know how young he is, but he's young in the UFC. He has that was his debut. That was his first time in the UFC, first experience. So I do think over time, Hasanov can actually get better and get more improved. So I like him. He's actually on my prospect list. I think there's a lot of things to work on, but I think being able to shoot 17 takedowns and 27 attempts at this weight class, like you guys got to remember, Morale could get away with it because he's a 135-pound bantamweight. You guys know how fucking flyweight scramble at 125. Guys, the higher you go in weight classes, the harder it is to keep a wrestling pace or scrambling pace that much. Hasanov kept it pretty well for being a big welterweight. He's not like a small welterweight. He's a pretty ripped, juiced-looking welterweight. So Hasanov impressed me in this fight against Eric Nolan, who made it a lot harder for Sadykov. So I like Hasanov. I think he's a pretty good gamer, and I think I'm gonna like him for his future fights. I think you just got to give him decent stylistic matchups, and he's gonna continue to build appropriately. But I do think he has to work on his body language and how he looks sometimes in the striking. But outside of that, Hasanov is one of the better guys in my opinion. Abdul Rahman Yakhyaev. I did know he's gonna go in there and slime him out really quickly. He went against Julius Walker. The thing was how quickly. I didn't expect it to be a 8-second finish. The second fastest finish in UFC history, I think. I'm like, this is like, he kind of went up to him, and the first overhand he threw, he slept him. He dropped him with the overhand, followed up pretty well. It was a good fit. Like, I think this finish was more warranted. And than the finish we were talking about with Sadykov in the main card. But he's good, guys. He's good. He's a primary grappler. People aren't understanding this. They're like, oh my God, he's the Ngannou. He's a white Ngannou. Nah, guys, he's a grappler first. He just has heavy hands and his striking's pretty adequate, isn't it? So he's a very well-rounded fighter. Of course, like, it's hard to gauge a lot of his fights because all of them being like first-round finishes in the UFC. What's he going to do in the second and third? And he has shown like if you put him at a pace, he's a human being, so he slows down, but it's just like you can't really grasp much from this fight outside of like Yakhyaev is just legit, bro. I think this is the first fight I like was live for. Like, he just slimes him out really quickly. Yakhyaev's a dog, man. Primary grappler with striking with heavy hands. Like, Yakhyaev is one of those people that you have to have on your glaze list, bro. Light heavyweight too. They don't have people like this right now. Like, it's dangerous, man. He very well could be the best light heavyweight on the planet Earth. I want to see him step up and go against a decent light heavyweight. You know, maybe like a Paulo Costa. I think he beats Paulo Costa pretty easily as well. But let's see how he does against someone like that. I think it'd be interesting. So Yakhyaev, let's see him upgrade in competition, get a good ranked opponent, and like no more of these Julius Walker jobbers. And let's see how he does. But he's definitely on my glaze list. He's on my prospect list. He's on my hype list. Real bad, man. Yakhyaev. I like Abdulrahman Yakhyaev. It makes you want to say his name like that, you know? cool guy, and I liked him. Good performance. Ruziboev versus Pulyaev. I actually didn't see this fight, but you know what pissed me off about this fight, guys? I put 5 hundo on him by KO points and then Yakhyaev by sub points, and you guys wouldn't believe what this nigga did. He said, let me submit someone for the first time. He pisses me off, eh? But he gets it done against Pulyaev by submission. Like, he's just good at everything. This is like a lanky fight. I actually didn't watch this fight, so I can't say too much about it, but I just know he got the first round finish, and it was a first round submission. So shout out Ruziboev. Every other fight I did not watch at all. I'll talk a little bit about Bekzat fight, Gene Matsumoto. I didn't watch this fight, but in my prediction video, I said the only thing that worried me about Gene was his ability to move forward, and that's going to wilt and break Bekzat. I don't know what happened this fight. You know, I said Bekzat wasn't going to be able to get held down, but I knew Gene was going to wrestle a little bit. I don't know if he got held down. All I know is people are saying this fight's a robbery. I want you guys to let me know in the comments how the fight went. I'll probably watch this fight after the fact, but it's a disappointing one because I did think Bekzat was pretty game and he was going to get the win. I heard he even scored a knockdown, but it still wasn't enough to win. I don't know how people I don't know if it's a robbery or people are just saying it's a robbery because they like Bekzat. So be honest in the comments because there's no reason to lie. The fight's over. But shout out Gene Matsumoto. If he's beating Bekzat, he's probably decently legit. Only thing that always worried about me was his pressure. You know, because sometimes he just doesn't stop coming forward even after he gets hit. I'm assuming that's what happened here, and maybe he got to Bekzat. But like I said, you guys tell me down below how that fight went. Overall, good card. Now we have no UFC for next week, and then next card is going to be the Conor McGregor Max Holloway card. So let's get the footage ready for that one. But let me know what you guys thought about UFC Fight Night Baku. Let me know what you think about my boy Rafael Fiziev and his win. And that's it for me in Gold Bliss. 2, 3, 4.